Hi guys, today we're going to react to Penitence by REN featuring Molly McKinna. This is a Buy Me a Coffee request from Pointless Lab. Thank you, Pointless Lab, for yet another REN request. Much appreciated.
Thank you, Pointless Lab. We appreciate the support yet again.
Lately, I think I was over time in my chest, beating slower like the clouds, the color of them fading out, fading out.
I counted the days she left like a prisoner, etching markings on my skin with an old knife, scratching. You see, I wanted the physical to match the psychological, and yet no matter how hard I dug, I still could not match that pain. I longed for reasons, I sung with demons, I sat in a dark dusty room, barely moving, breathing. I chewed through my own umbilical cord attached to her navel. I wanted to be separate. I think my mind is leaking. Solitude is so depleting.
This happens often when we react to REN music videos. This is an older music video. I think it's from 2020. I don't think it's a music video. I think it's a short film. The music is infused in it, but I think the intent behind it is to tell a visual story in as much importance as to express the music. It'll take a while to decipher what I'm looking at here, but the first section of the song, when Molly McKinna sings, it feels like a lullaby, and then it completely changes when REN sings. The style changes. It's fused together, so it's the same vibe, it's the same song, but it changes when REN sings. It starts being something a lot darker, and the visuals contribute to that. You see, I can't quite put my finger on it, but it is extremely intriguing. I love her caressing voice, how it starts and you kind of let yourself drift away, and then when he sings you just drop to a darker place. It'll take a couple of minutes to collect my thoughts on it.
First of all, this is a very, very different song to, say, our last REN reaction, which was Losing It, which was fun and energetic. And this is kind of back to kind of serious, darker REN, which I love. Molly McKinna, I've never heard of before. Her voice is just beautiful. It's caressing, it's hypnotizing. And like you said, it kind of lulls you, not to sleep, but it relaxes you. It kind of puts you in this mood where you can just kind of go with the flow. It gave me goosebumps. I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. And then towards the end of her first verse or intro, I think it was, it sort of dawned on me how dark the lyrics are. And then REN comes in and he sort of does his thing, because this is a duet between kind of like a softer kind of singer and someone who kind of, you know, raps on this, because REN so far is not really singing, he's more rapping his words. And yeah, and as always, very dark. I don't know if to call it depressing, but it's definitely puts you in that kind of mood. It's like it hurts to listen to REN, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like it hurts so good in a way, because it's like, I don't know why, but that feeling of when an artist gets through to you and you feel their pain, it also feels good. It feels like something has been communicated to us that was not necessarily supposed to be there before. And REN is, you know, we've discussed this before, he's really the master of doing this. And this song is no different. It's just beautiful.
Even though this is an art piece, REN's pain, it's not portrayed in a staged fashion. There's visuals, as you said, to accompany the song, but he's always able to convey his singing and his words and his rapping in a very authentic fashion. You feel like you're not listening to a song, like Ren's talking to you.
As far as the lyrics go, on the surface, it sounds like a breakup song, kind of like a love gone wrong. There's definitely a sense of separation here and loss and a very, very heavy feeling of regret. It's just some lines here like, I counted the days she left like a prisoner, etching markings on my skin with an old knife, scratching. And it goes into basically self-harm and self-blame. And that's kind of what you feel Ren singing about. You see, I wanted the physical to match the psychological. So he was trying to hurt himself physically to match what he was feeling psychologically.
He actually says regret as well.
Yeah, regret and forget.
Yeah, forget.
Yet no matter how hard I dug, I still could not match that pain. So the heartbreak was stronger than any physical pain that he could try to match. It's beautiful and it's sad. And there's a line there that's the one that kind of got me. He said, I chewed through my own umbilical cord attached to her navel. I wanted to be separate. Oh, I think my mind is leaking. Oh, solitude is so depleting. So it's like at some point he wanted to separate and caused the separation in some way. And now he's definitely regretting it.
That line where he says, I chewed through my own umbilical cord attached to her navel. When I first read it, I didn't quite grab the entire meaning, but it's attached to her navel. It's not an infant chewing through the umbilical cord from its mother. They were feeding off each other. They were like two souls connected to each other. So through that line, how he says it, you can tell that this person was his world when they were together, but he chose to separate. That's what I read from it. Something was terribly wrong in that relationship that caused them to end it, and then comes regret, because when you connect to a person on such a deep level, you need to remember who you were before that person was in your life.
Yeah, I agree. The umbilical cord part is basically attached to a navel, means it's not a mother. It's someone who he was with, they were feeding off each other, almost becoming one. And then he said, I wanted to be separate. So he wanted to not be this conjoined twin with this person. He wanted to be his own self. Now that he chewed through and got away, solitude is so depleting. Now he's feeling the solitude without this person who was really basically completed him in a way. That's what it feels like.
An umbilical cord is a lifeline. You can't survive with an umbilical cord. It means he hasn't yet evolved into a full person. That metaphor of an umbilical cord, he doesn't know who he is without her. You can interpret it so many different directions, and you can derive so many meanings from it. It's raw pain.
Solitude is so depleting. I did it to myself. I know that you are faithful. I did it for my health. How come I'm still unstable and falling far from hell? A suicidal angel who's lost my wings and fell, falling so ungraceful, banished into hell.
I wish that I could stop crying. They say that the body is 70% water. I feel like I must have reduced mine by a considerable fraction. Newton's third theory states that for every action there must be an equal and opposite counter-reaction. And so I retrace my steps and try to find reasons in the arms of my demons, cause I can't find healing if I can't find meaning. A conundrum, leaning on my dom-nom, feelings how the news high, beaming when I hung from, ceilings when I run from, demons that are living in my head and escape. Fate and disapparate, evaporate, evacuate and inactivate. Fate, but it cut the brakes. Now I'm driving my universe into a lake in the weight of the world, don't wait. We make mistakes when it's all at stake. For goodness sake, a double take. But I don't want to eat that cake. I ruminate inside meaning to illuminate a dark mind. I communicate without speaking, and I've seen so much I went blind-eyed. Why? I live in a lie with the lion inside. Living a lie with the lion inside. And my mind is hungry for my sanity, I live in a lie with the lion inside. Living a lie with the lion inside. And my mind is hungry and I don't know why. Pressure drop, deep breath, time stops. A broken, etc. ... Pressure drop, pressure drop, pressure drop. I feel it consuming, I can't stop. ... The lines join the dots and I'm tying knots. Then divide and multiply, square the root of pi, beat the puzzle. I try to keep my mind focused on the line. Hopscotch and pop rocks, I take shots of teardrops. When I drop a pill pop, I find peace and time stops.
Beautiful. Babble. The second half sheds a little bit more light on the ways you can interpret it. She says, I did it to myself. I know that you were faithful. I did it for my health. How come I'm still unstable? She continues, but that kind of makes me think that she cheated on him. She says, I know that you were faithful. So either she cheated on him or maybe she ended it. But I can't really put my finger on it. But something happened that caused him to chew through that umbilical cord. And from what he's singing about, you kind of get the feeling that he just wants the pain to stop. He's trying to find closure. He's trying to find something, some parameters through which he can quantify or identify where he went wrong. He talks about Newton's third law. The line goes, Newton's third theory states that for every action, there must be an equal and opposite counter reaction. So he's actually saying he retraces his steps to see where he went wrong to come to that level of pain. He continues to visit those thoughts and to visit that pain and to torment himself, ruminating on his relationship with this person so he can find some way to explain it to himself. Because he says he wished he could stop crying. There's a line that says, they say that the body is 70% water. I lost a lot of tears over this person. I want the pain to stop. He wants to achieve solace.
Yeah, I think the main thing that he's trying to do is to find some logic in what happened, to understand it. He says, because I can't find healing if I can't find meaning. So he's looking for meaning. He doesn't remember exactly why it all fell apart, why they had to separate, even though he wanted to at the time, from what he says himself. So yeah, he goes on and says, a conundrum leaning on my dumb numb feelings. So it's a riddle. It's a conundrum. He doesn't know. He doesn't know why. What happened? Why did we do this? Why did we separate? A lot of times that can happen because when you're in the moment, you're feeling certain things and you can have it make sense to you at that time, but it's temporary because it mostly involves feelings. You're angry. You're angry at that moment. You're frustrated. You're whatever. And then you separate and you go your separate ways and eventually you kind of calm down. And after that, you don't remember. You don't remember why you were so adamant that you had to go. So I think that's kind of where he's at. That's what it sounds like at that point. He says, we make mistakes when it's all at stake. For goodness sakes, a double take. He wants him and her to kind of look back, to remember what was there and to see what can be done. Perhaps something can be done, but at the same time, it feels like he knows that there's no turning back. So he wants closure. And that's one of those things that sometimes happen in relationships where it doesn't matter if you are the one breaking it up or if you are the one being broken up with, you might not have closure. And then it takes time to heal. It takes time to get yourself in order where you reach a point where it no longer matters. So he's definitely not there yet. And he's struggles with his demons, going all the way to the end. His last line, after he says, whatever, I did it to myself. And then he says, when I drop a pill pop, I know, I find peace and time stops. I know. I'm not sure if, because he ends that I know, and then not know. He doesn't finish the word. And I'm not sure if that's because the effect of the pill could either be something prescribed or something not prescribed, but it could also mean suicide. It could also mean he died there at the end. You know, he didn't finish that last word.
Yeah, or passed out. Yeah.
Or he's just, kind of not passed out, but, kind of floating on a cloud now. But that's the only way to stop the pain is to take some kind of medication or drugs to quiet the demons, to buy time, basically, to get away from it.
I think we can relate to where Ren is coming from because the grieving part of a dead or dying relationship, that's not the hurtful part. That's the part you need to reach so you can start grieving. I think the confusion as to why it ended or what you did wrong, I don't know if it had betrayal in this, but that sense of it ending and you not seeing the signs or you not realizing that something was wrong or realizing it too late, the confusion part, that's what hurts the most, especially if you have a codependent relationship. I don't know if that's the case here. You tend to define yourself with your partner. And when it ends, you suddenly don't know who you are without them. So there's a lot of healing to do.
And the song mainly talks about, he mentioned Newton's third law, every action has an equal and opposite counter reaction. And this is really what I think the whole song is about. It's about actions and consequences. So the consequence of the actions that they both took is the separation and where he is right now. This is the consequence. This is what happened. And this is where he's left. And he acknowledges that at least partly, it's his fault. And then, you know, regret comes into it, and the self-harm and the isolation and all of that, and the inability to snap out of it and to heal. And that's kind of where it ends. He hasn't found a way. So this is all one big question mark. How do I find my way back? How do I heal from this?
Yeah, he's trying to find a cause to that effect, the origin, what caused him to be in that situation.
Yeah, and sometimes you don't have that closure. So you kind of just have to, I guess, rely on time and just survive through that for as long as you can, until eventually those feelings die down and it no longer matters as much, until eventually it no longer matters. It's just a thing of, you know, that happened in your past. But yeah, just a very, very strong themes in this one. As always, REN does it beautifully. The writing, it's all there. He invites us into his pain, as we've discussed before, and we just bathe in it, really. It's like we're in there, and for some reason, it feels good. It feels good to kind of share that, to relate to it, to get to know REN better, and to kind of try to understand and to sympathize and empathize with what he's been through. And yeah, always amazing. Fantastic song.
Because it echoes in a genuine way. You don't get the feeling that you're watching a show. It's just, he's addressing you directly, the audience.
Thank you, Pointless Lab, for this absolutely beautiful request. What a great song. As always, we appreciate the support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pointless Lab, for requesting this song. I don't think we quite reacted to too many older REN songs. It was a very enjoyable experience. Thank you very much. Please keep them coming. If you enjoyed this episode, guys, please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and click the little bell icon so you'll get notified on all our future videos. If you have a request you'd like bumped up the line, please make it through Buy Me a Coffee. All contributions are, of course, very much appreciated. Thank you all for sticking with us. Thank you all for your time.
Another awesome one from REN. Guys, please check out our REN Reactions playlist, which should be on the screen at some point around now. And as always, thank you for all the support, guys. We appreciate it oh so much. We'll be back in a couple of days with a new episode, and we hope to see you all then. Thanks again, guys. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.